You both said today that you love each other, and I believe it, but I'm trying to tell you, love is not enough for a successful marriage. There's so many other things that go in it. It's not just about you anymore.
Here is today's case.
It's like having a fifth child. I was on the phone with a friend of mine. I then turn around to her. She got a gigantic bottle of mustard, and she's just following me, just continuously squirting this mustard on me like she's lost her mind.
So you showed up at his house with mustard in your bag. Now, if this were hot sauce and you were Beyonce, it'd be a different story.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, as you know, for the first time in divorce court, we have a virtual audience, and it's filled with your superfans. Today's superfan of the day is Kayla from Charleston, South Carolina.
Hi, Kayla. Welcome to divorce court. We're so happy to have you here with us today.
Your Honor, today's case is Greaves versus Durham.
Thank you, Honor. Gerald Greaves.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have brought Tempestt Durham.
Yes, Your Honor.
To court today. You say the two of you have been in a relationship for the last 2 years.
Yes, Your Honor.
But there are a number of issues that have caused the two of you to now be on the verge of splitting up. Am I right, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll start with you. Why don't you give me some background? How'd you meet?
I've known her for a while. I had just got out of a long relationship. Tempestt hit me up on Facebook. You know, we haven't seen each other in a while. You know, I was doing a little catching up. We eventually exchanged numbers. She was ending a relationship with somebody, and I was giving her advice. And we eventually started hanging out.
What are the problems? How'd you end up here today?
I'm 35. I got 4 kids. With her, it's like having a fifth child. It can be very childish, very dramatic, and it just gotten to that point where I'm just at the end of the road, you know?
Okay, what do you have to say about that, Ms. Durham? Are you childish and dramatic?
I don't think that I'm childish and dramatic. If I'm childish, he's a grandpa. He never wants to do anything. He doesn't want to have sex. It's lack of affection. A lot of cheating and flirting goes on with Gerald.
And you're how old, 23?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there is a little bit of an age gap between the two of you, about 12 years. So what's happening, sir? Give me some examples of what you say are her childish and dramatic ways.
Okay, Your Honor. For example, I had planned to get together with some coworkers. You know, I was going to invite a few friends over. I didn't want her there. Obviously, I don't want a female there with a house full of guys. She was supposed to go and hang out with her sister.
Were two of you living together at the time?
Yes. She made it clear she didn't want to go. And I'm like, you can't be here with a bunch of guys. You know, she always wants to be up under me. I went to take a shower, left my phone laying on the couch, come back, check the phone, see where the guy's at, you know, as far as where we're going at. Nobody replied, no responses, so I found that very peculiar. I go to work the next day. I'm like, hey, why y'all never showed up? One of my coworkers say, you canceled the get-together. I'm like, no, I didn't. He shows me his phone, and there on his phone it says, hey, you know, I'm canceling the plans. We have to do this another time. Something came up. I'm like, I didn't send that.
So she took your phone and
had
sent
to-
the messages
she
to
had
your
to go to
guy
my
friends
phone.
and
Yes, Your
said
Honor.
the plans were canceled, but then deleted
And
the
then
messages from your phone.
deleted their responses.
So you at the house by yourself and no one shows up.
I'm in the dark.
Okay, that is pretty childish, Ms. Durham. Is that what you did?
Yes, Your Honor. I just felt like he doesn't want to spend time with me, so why do you feel like you can go and spend time with your friends? Like,
But the two of you live together, right?
Yes.
Does he have a guy's night that often?
Not really.
So this was the one night he wanted to have the guys come over,
Yes, ma'am.
and you just decided to text him and cancel?
Yes.
Without telling him?
Yes, Your Honor. I just felt like I wanted.
So he's sitting there all night alone, wondering where his friends are.
Yes.
And I already don't have any friends, Your Honor. Like, these are coworkers. So these they're not even friends out there, you know, work friends. I don't really have any friends outside of work.
So he's there, sitting there all night, alone, waiting for his coworkers who never show up.
He does have friends. They're just not guy friends. He has a lot of homegirls.
Okay. What happened when you had surgery?
I had surgery back in May. I had a torn rotator cuff that needed to be repaired. We had been going through a lot of arguments at that time.
About what?
Females, you know, she's very jealous that I have female friends.
So you do have a lot of homegirls.
I do.
Does she know them?
No,
You haven't introduced her to any of your homegirls?
no.
So you can understand why that might be problematic.
A little bit.
It's homegirls that he sleep with. It's not just homegirls.
How do you know this?
He tells me, oh, this is my homegirl. Yeah, we had sex before back then, but we're not doing anything now.
Oh, is that true?
Some of them I have had past relationships with, but that was over.
You don't believe it?
Dating
No.
people. They're dating other guys.
Sir, this is divorce court. That fact does not matter here.
Okay.
we see it all. I can understand why that's an issue for you, because I'm gonna tell you something, when people have affairs and when they cheat, most of the time it's not with a stranger, it's with someone who they call a friend.
And he tells the homegirls all our business. So you're telling them the problems that we have, and they're like, oh, so y'all bad? And that gets them to like, okay, so let me come in and see, so I can be that shoulder to cry on.
So they're just waiting for the right opportunity, is what you're saying.
Yes.
I understand her perspective on this one. What do you say happened when you had surgery? Tell me about that.
Like I said, Your Honor, we had been arguing, doing a lot of back and forth, back and forth. I didn't want her to be with me during the time of the surgery. I just felt like it was just too much negative energy between us. I didn't want her there. I was in the hospital for 2 days. When I made it back home, you know, no text messages, no calls. She didn't check up on me whatsoever. She sent me one text message before the surgery. That was it. When I was at the hospital, she didn't check on me. She didn't call. So I know that it was out of spite because I didn't want her at the surgery. When I got home, I went to her. She was at her aunt's house at the time. I went to her aunt's house, asked her to come outside. I broke it down to her. I said, look, you know, you didn't check on me at all. And that really hurt me. I say, I'm just at the point where I'm just ready to move on. You know, she wanted to argue some more. I left. Went home. I was on the phone with a friend of mine. You know, she was asking me how things were going along. She pulls up, comes over to where I'm standing at. I'm still on the phone. She has her child with her, which I found very peculiar. It's 12 o'clock at night. You know, he's playing around, running around. You know, I'm telling him, like, hey, you know, settle down.
Now, this is your surgery, so your arm is in a sling?
Yes.
And okay,
Yes.
I'm just trying to envision what's happening here.
I feel something hit my flip-flop. I look down, and I see something yellowish on my flip-flop. I see that she's on the phone with her ex. I asked her about it. I told her I'm done. She then picks up the bag, throws it at me, hits me in the back.
He doesn't have a right to go through my phone. If I can't do the same thing to
No,
your
it's
phone.
an invasion. It is an invasion of privacy, and you deciding to retaliate by throwing food on people.
I then turn around to her. She got a gigantic bottle of mustard, and she just got this grin on her face. And she just go to squirting the mustard all over me. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, are you for real? And she's like, oh, you think you're gonna try me like that? You think you're gonna try me like that? And she just continued to squirt. It got all over my sling, all of my hair, all over my clothes. I then proceed to go in the house. And she's just following me, just continuously squirting this mustard on me like she's lost her mind.
These are photos
Yes.
of the mustard incident?
Yes.
Miss Durham,
Yes, Your Honor.
so you show up at his house, premeditated, with a bottle of mustard and the baby. And he's only been out of surgery for 2 days.
Your Honor, I like to note she also threw the ball at me as well, hitting me in the shoulder, the same shoulder that I had surgery on.
So you showed up at his house with mustard in your bag. Now, if this were hot sauce and you were Beyonce, it'd be a different story. But that's not what we're doing here. Now, why are you so childish?
I wouldn't say I'm childish. I would just say
Oh, I would say you are absolutely acting like a 5-year-old.
I would just say I'm very over-emotional.
What do you think that's gonna solve by squirting a man with mustard he right out of surgery?
It doesn't solve anything, but in that moment, it just felt okay.
Okay, so he's right. You are petty, you are dramatic. Now, Mr. Greaves, you said the final straw was what happened at the Mexican restaurant. Dare I ask?
Well, Your Honor, we decided to go get lunch. Looked at her phone. She has calls, 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, with her ex.
You just looking through her phone?
Not necessarily
he's
looking in
controlling.
it. We began to have an argument.
So you invaded her privacy, looked through her phone. I always say you go looking, you're gonna find exactly what you think you're gonna find.
She had
Thank
brought up, you know, female friends and stuff like that. So I had to have some type of counter move. I say, I think you're, you know, on the phone with your ex.
He's on dating sites, so I don't understand why he thinks that he could just look through my phone when he's also doing stuff himself.
Your Honor, anytime I've been on dating sites, it's during a breakup period. We were not together, and she knows that. We were not together. But back to the Chipotle story, I see that she's on the phone with her ex, 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes. I asked her about it. She tried to say that it's somebody else.
And it was.
Because it says title on the papa.
Okay, so it's not the ex, it's someone else, but what happens? The two of you get into an argument?
I told her I'm done. She then throws the bag of Chipotles at me. I'm hungry. It's lunchtime, I'm hungry. I try to pick up the bag, she kicks the bag. I'm done, I'm not gonna pick it up and try to pick it up anymore. I'm actually gonna leave. So at that point, when I get halfway to my truck, she then picks up the bag, throws it at me, hits me in the back. I kind of turn around like, you're being very childish.
Not only do you get mad, but you like to waste food at the same time.
But he doesn't have a right to go through my phone. If I can't do the same thing to your phone.
No, it's an invasion. It is an invasion of privacy for someone to go through your phone.
And he has no type of proof who it was.
These are factors that I don't care about when it comes to your reactions and you deciding to retaliate by throwing food on people.
I would constantly break up with this girl. I get 50,000 text messages to the point my phone would die on me sometime.
That doesn't make you want to walk further away?
I've tried.
How many times do you have to have food thrown at you before you realize this is enough of this relationship? You gotta let it go. If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms, and for exclusive content, go to Apple TV. If you don't like what someone does, you walk away. You reevaluate their relationship. You say, maybe this is not the situation for me. Maybe we need to take a break. But what you do not do is assault people with food.
And cause a scene, Your Honor, because it was a big scene. It was a big mess. I don't know if they thought they was gonna see a food fight, wrestling match. I don't know, Your Honor, but she caused a big scene.
I
was ready to go.
Even before I threw the
Now,
food
does it not embarrass you to do this in front of people?
When he was looking through the phone, I told him, calm down. It's not like that. If I'm trying to explain myself, why won't you give me that option to explain myself before it gets to that level anyway?
So you tell him to calm down, but then you actually exacerbate the situation and take it to the next level.
Because he think he gonna walk away the food that I just bought and just walk away.
Yeah,
no,
he has a right to do that. He has a right to do that without you assaulting and throwing a burrito at his back. Was this after the mustard incident?
This was after the mustard incident.
What made you reconcile after that, sir?
When I was going through the motions of my breakup, I didn't have anybody there. She was there. She gave me that shoulder to cry on. We grew closer together, and we end up being together. And when I would constantly break up with this girl, she begged me to take her back. Please take me back. Please take me back. I get 50,000 text messages to the point my phone would die on me sometimes if I didn't have it on the charger. Call me private 50,000 times.
And that doesn't make you want to walk further away?
I've tried.
How many times do you have to have food thrown at you before you realize this is enough of this relationship for me?
Exactly, because he keep letting me back in. If you really didn't want me, then you would tell me that.
I think her problem is she's used to dealing with guys her age, maybe childish guys, and I'm just not, I don't know, she's crazy.
So have you ended the relationship?
Yes, and like always, 5,000 text messages, 5,000 phone calls.
And you don't have to respond, and you don't have to accept
You're
them.
right.
And when someone ends a relationship with you, you gotta let it go. You sending him 50 text messages? 50? He says 5,000, but you say it was 50. You admit to 50, am I right?
Comes by my house.
Yes. Your
Okay,
Honor.
so Miss Durham, you got to get yourself together, ma'am. Before you go into another relationship, because this one is a wrap, he's done as he should be. And stop texting him. Don't stalk him on his social media. Stop calling him. Let it go. This is a wrap. until you get a handle on how you deal with your emotions and how you communicate. Making scenes in public, it is embarrassing and it is unbecoming of you. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to humiliate yourself?
I'm not trying to humiliate myself.
But that's what you're doing. I want you to be better. I want you to learn. You have some growing up to do. You're 23. I'm not going to put it all on your age because there are some mature 23-year-olds, but you're just not it. You have some growing up to do. So just listen to me when I say you're going to have to learn how to deal with issues in relationships, Miss Durham. Okay. When you're upset about things, when things are not going your way, you cannot resort to having a huge emotional reaction in public, overreacting, and then throwing things at people and assaulting them. You cannot do these things in front of your child and not think your child is not gonna witness this and then emulate what you do. Your child is looking at you right now as their #1 role model in life. Okay. So I'm gonna need you to put your big girl pants on and start behaving better. 1, learn how to deal with your emotions when you're upset. Learn how to communicate when you're upset. And it's okay to be angry, but learn how to express it in an emotionally healthy way. You are not doing that with these crazy outbursts. Because then it could possibly be a productive result, one that you want if you know how to communicate it correctly. #2, when someone ends a relationship with you and breaks up with you, stop chasing them. Leave it alone. First, he has every right to want to end the relationship, but stop sending people 50 messages and going by their house and calling them. Why do you want to beg someone to be with you if they don't want to be with you? So stop begging. Stop being desperate.
Okay.
And I mean, do I need to say this? Stop throwing food on people?
No, Your Honor. Gerald just
you showing up, you doing premeditated food attacks. Showing up at people's house with bottles of mustard and dishwashing liquid. He didn't mention that, but I read about it.
He just thinks he knows everything. Even with parenting, he tries to tell me how to raise my child just because he has 4 kids.
That's not true.
You know what? That's a lot of times, that's not uncommon when you're in a relationship with someone who's older than you. And in many cases, so what you're saying may be true. He says it's not, but a lot of times that happens.
Your Honor,
but in your situation, I think you probably need some guidance and instruction.
Your Honor, I just be trying to give her advice. I mean, I got 4 kids. I've been around that block. She got 1. I just be trying to give her advice from a parent's point of view.
Mr. Greaves, this relationship has gone on for 2 years. Not a lot of things surprise me in divorce court, but this one does. Not a lot of people will put up with this for very long. And you need to be single, Miss Durham, until you can get yourself together and learn how to behave. You acting kind of crazy. You do know that, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is not normal. I need you to rein this in. Because he's nice. There are a lot of other people who you put mustard on, they would not have the same reaction that he would. That's my advice. Good luck to both of you.
The verdict was fair. It was fair. She gave real good advice. I just hope that, people catch up on life and be done with mustard.
I think Judge Space's verdict was okay. It's not just on me, it's on Gerald also. If he didn't want me, he would have left me alone. You're still letting me come back into your life. You're still cheating. You're still not admitting to the things that you're doing.
So I wish her the best in life, but I don't even want to be friends at this point. I'm just ready to just move on.
That's fine with me. He can do whatever he feels like he needs to do.